Hi, I am Sevaya, lecturer in physics, working in Vignan institutions. In the previous session, I explained the concepts of the current electricity related to the Kirchhoff laws. And in this session, I am going to explain how to apply the Kirchhoff laws for the solving of the electrical networks. Okay? So, in the today's session, we are going to study the problems using the Kirchhoff laws. Before going to solve the problems, I am going to explain the Kirchhoff laws in brief to recall the concepts. So, first come to the Kirchhoff's first law or Kirchhoff's current law. Generally, this Kirchhoff's first law is applied for a junction in the electrical network. Suppose, let us consider a junction O at which 5 branches are meeting. Different currents I1, I2, I3, I4, I5 are passing through the branches. The relation between the currents passing through the various branches meeting at a point is explained by the Kirchhoff's first law. So, the Kirchhoff's first law states that the sum of the electrical currents flowing towards a junction is always equal to the sum of the electrical currents flowing away from the junction. Here, what are the currents flowing towards the junction? I1 and I4 are flowing towards the junction. So, the sum of the currents flowing towards the junction is equal to I1 plus I4. Whereas, I2, I3 and I5 are flowing away from the junction. So, the sum of the currents flowing away from the junction is I2 plus I3 plus I5. Okay? So, here I calculate the sum of the currents flowing towards the junction and the sum of the currents flowing away from the junction. So, according to the Kirchhoff's first law, these two are equal, so that we can write I1 plus I4 is equal to I2 plus I3 plus I5. Generally, the currents in the branches can be determined by using this Kirchhoff's first law. For example, let us consider a simple network which consisting of 3 branches like this. If suppose a current I1 is flowing through the first resistor of resistance R1 and a current I2 is flowing through the second resistor of resistance. If suppose we want to determine the current passing through the third branch, for that we use the Kirchhoff's law. The sum of these two currents must be equal to this current. From that we can write this I3 is equal to I1 minus I2. So, while solving the problems, instead of applying this law in this form, we use the Kirchhoff's law to determine the currents passing through the different branches of the circuit. Come to the Kirchhoff's second law, which is the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Suppose let us consider a part of the network where there is a loop A, B, C, D, A. Whenever we are traveling along the loop, sometimes there are potential drops and sometimes there are EMFs come across. About the potential drops and the EMFs, the Kirchhoff explained the second law. So, the Kirchhoff's second law states that the algebraic sum of the all potential drops and all EMFs in a closed loop in any electrical network is always equal to 0. I am repeating, the algebraic sum of the all potential drops and all EMF in any closed loop in any electrical network is always equal to 0. Mathematically, we can write it as sigma IR plus sigma E is equal to 0. It gives the algebraic sum of the potential drops, whereas it gives the algebraic sum of the EMFs. That is always equal to 0 across any closed loop. While applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law, we have to follow some rules what we studied in the previous session. Rise in potentials are taken as positive and fall in potentials are taken as negative. To identify the rise in potential and fall in potential across the resistors and batteries, here we have to follow these 4 rules. If suppose the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the same direction, there is fall in potential and that must be taken as negative potential drop. That means the IR is negative. If suppose the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite directions, then there is rise in potential, then there is a rise in potential. The rise in potential can be taken as positive, so that IR is taken as positive. Similarly, in case of the batteries, if suppose we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal of the battery, there is fall in potential. The EMF of the battery or the cell must be taken as negative. If suppose we are moving from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the battery, there is a rise in potential. The rise in potential is taken as positive. That's why for resistors there are 2 rules to write down the potential drops, and for the batteries there are 2 more rules for the potential drops, EMF of the batteries. Now, by keeping these 4 rules in mind and the Kirchhoff's first law, we can apply the Kirchhoff laws for the any electrical network, that may be simple network or may be a complicated network, and we can simplify the problems using the Kirchhoff laws. Now, in this session, using these Kirchhoff laws, I am going to solve some problems which are somewhat easy and some circuits are complicated circuits. So, see this problem. S in the circuit shown is closed, then the value of the current I will be dash. See here, there are 3 resistors and across this resistor a switch is connected. If the switch is closed like this, what is the current passing through the circuit? This I value to be calculated. See here, the points are marked as A, B, C, say this is D. Now let us consider this junction C. At the junction how many branches are meeting? AC is 1 branch, BC is the 2nd branch and CD is the 3rd branch. So 3 branches are meeting and 3 currents are meeting at that point C. So there we can apply the Kirchhoff's current law to solve the problem. For that, at this point C, the potential value is not given, let it be VC. Let VA is the potential at point A and VB is the potential at point B, and the potential at point D is given as VD is equal to 0. Now, at this point C, this I1 is flowing towards the junction, I2 is flowing towards the junction and I is flowing away from the junction. That's why by applying the Kirchhoff's current law we can write the sum of the currents flowing towards the junction I1 plus I2 is equal to the sum of the currents flowing away from the junction I. Let it be equation number 1. We know that the current passing through a resistor can be determined by using the formula Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. V is the potential difference, I is the current and R is the resistance. Okay, using this formula V is equal to, I am going to calculate I1 value, I2 value and I value separately. For that, what is I1? Current is flowing from A to C, that means potential at point A is more than the potential at point C. That's why by using this formula we can write the current I is equal to potential difference by resistance, that is VA minus VC divided by R. And similarly, I2 is equal to, the current is flowing along the side, that's why this must be at a higher potential, this must be at lower potential, so that we can write it as VB minus VC divided by 4 ohms, whereas this is 2 ohms. And I is equal to, this current is flowing away from the junction, that's why this is at higher potential, this is at lower potential, that is VC minus 0 the resistance is 2 ohms. Now we have I1 value, I2 value, I value. Substitute that values in the equation number 1. By substituting we have VA minus VC divided by 2 plus VB minus VC divided by 4 is equal to VC by 2. Now by solving this equation you will get VC is equal to 10 volts. By rearranging the terms and by substituting the VA, VB values, we have VC is equal to 10 volts. So our aim is not to find out the VC value. Our aim is to find out the current passing through this 2 ohm resistor. So from this equation, the current can be determined by the formula I is equal to C by 2, that is equal to 10 by 2, that is equal to 5 amperes. Like this. So at this point C, we apply the Kirchhoff's current law. The sum of the currents flowing towards the junction is equal to the sum of the currents flowing away from the junction. In simple problems, I1, I2 values may be given, we want to find out I value. But here, without giving I1, I2 values, we want to find out I value by giving the potentials at the various points. First of all, the unknown potential at point C is calculated. After that, the current passing through the 2 ohms resistance is measured by using the formula, simple formula, V is equal to IR. From that we have I is equal to 5 amperes. Okay. So this is the applications of the Kirchhoff's first law. Right. Now, here there is a circuit. In the given circuit, find the current in each resistor. So here there are 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors are there and 2 cells are there. In each resistor, we want to determine the current passing through the circuit. See here, the 2 cells and 4 resistors are connected in series combination. So here the EMF is 4 volts, here the EMF is 10 volts. The EMF of this battery is more, that's why generally the direction of the current in the circuit is like this. Because all are connected in the series combination, the same current I will be passing through all the elements of this circuit like this. Now, we want to find out the current passing through the circuit. For that, I am going to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Before that, let us mark the points as A, B, C, D at the different points of the circuit. Now, here the current passing through the circuit is marked as I in all the branches. Now, to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law, first of all we have to assume the currents. If suppose instead of assuming the current along this direction, if we assume the current in the reverse of this, what happens? Then also you will get the answer, but you will get the answer with a negative sign. That means after taking the current in a particular direction, if we solve the problem and if we get the positive answer, then it indicates that our assumed direction of the current is right. If suppose at the ending of the solution we are getting the negative value for the current, it indicates that the direction assumed by us is wrong and the current is passing in the opposite to the assumed direction assumed by us. Now, in the next step we have to assume the loop. Here, the loop may be taken from A, B, C, D, A, or it may be taken from B, C, D, A, B, or it may be taken from D, A, B, C, D like that. That means the loop may be started anywhere and that must be ending at the point where it starts. That too, the loop may be taking in the clockwise direction or may be taking in the anti-clockwise direction. It is also our choice. Whether we are taking the loop either in the clockwise or in the anti-clockwise direction, we get the same answer at the ending of the solution. Now, here I am considering the loop along the path A, B, C, D, A. This is the loop what I am assuming to solve the problem. Now when we are traveling along the loop, there are potential drops and EMFs in the circuit. Already I explained the rules used to identify the sign of the potential drops and EMFs in the previous slide. Now using these rules, I am going to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law for that network. So by applying KVL for the loop, A, B, C, D, we get, so when we are moving in this AB branch, there is resistor, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction. When the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction, the potential drop IR is positive. So that plus 1I. Next, when we are moving from B to C, there is a cell and there is a resistor. Use the rule of the cell for the cell and use the rule of the resistor for the resistor of the circuit. Now here we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal of the cell. Whenever we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative of the cell, then the EMF is taken as a negative, so that this is minus 10. Next, in this resistor, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the direction, so that IR is positive plus 2I. Now in this CD branch, there is only resistor. Here also the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction, so IR is positive plus 1I, whereas from D to A there is a resistor and cell. In this resistor, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction, that is IR is positive, so plus 2I, and whenever we are moving from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the cell, the EMF of the cell is taken as positive, so plus 4, this is equal to 0. So here there are some potential drops and EMFs. The algebraic sum of all potential drops and all EMFs is always equal to 0. So by simplifying, this becomes I plus 2I 3I plus I 4 plus 2I 6I minus 10 plus 4 minus 6 is equal to 0. From this 6I is equal to 6. From this we have I is equal to 6 by 6, that is equal to 1 ampere. So this is the simple network where all the elements are in series combination. The same current is passing through all the elements, so that the assumption of one current is enough. For getting of one current, just one loop is enough. By writing the loop equation, so we obtain the current value, which is nothing but the current passing through all the elements of the circuit. Okay? So to write this equation, all these four rules must be in our mind. Whenever we are familiar with these four rules, then only we can write down the Kirchhoff's voltage law without then automatically we will get the solution in the right way. If suppose we have done any small mistake during writing the Kirchhoff's law by using these rules, then you will get the wrong solution at the ending. Okay? Right. Keep these rules, and this is the way how to solve the problem. Now come to the next problem. In the given circuit, find the current in each resistor. Here there are 1, 2, 3 resistors, 1, 2, 3 cells. In the first step, let us mark the points A, B, C, D, E, F at the different parts of the circuit. After that, let us assume the currents in the various branches. You know that we can assume the currents in any directions, it is our choice. Now here I assume the current I1 from D to A, and I assume the current I2 from F to A. Here these two currents are meeting at point B, and in this BE branch the current is I1 plus I2. Okay, I assume different currents in the different directions, they are I1, I2 and I1 plus I2. Here, to calculate the two unknown values, we need two equations. For that purpose, I am going to write down the two leap equations from this circuit. So by applying KVL, for ABEFA loop, this is ABEFA loop. So this is the loop 1. What from A to B, direction of the current and the loop are in the same direction, minus 10 I2. Next, from B to C, here also the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the same direction, minus 10 I1 plus I2. Now here we are moving from the positive to the negative terminal of the cell, minus 10, and between E and F no elements are there, so that there are no potential drops and no EMFs, and from F to A there is a cell. We are moving from the negative to the positive terminal, so that plus 20, this is always equal to 0. So minus 10 I2, minus 10 I1, minus 10 I2, plus 10 is equal to 0. It means minus 10 I1 plus 20 I2 is equal to minus 10. By multiplying with negative sign and dividing with 10, we have I1 plus 2I2 is equal to 1. Let it be equation number 1. So by writing the Kirchhoff's voltage law for the first loop, I obtain the relation between the I1 and I2. Let it be equation number 1. Similarly, write down the Kirchhoff's voltage law for the second loop BCEB like this. This is loop 2. By applying KVL for loop BCDEB, what we get? When we are moving from B to C, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction, so that IR is positive 10 I1. Next, when we are moving from C to D, we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal of the battery. EMF is negative, minus 20. Between DE, there are no elements, no potential drops, no EMFs. And when we are moving from E to B, we are moving from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the cell, so that the EMF is positive, plus 10. And in this resistor, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction. IR is positive, so plus 10 into I1 plus I2. This is equal to 0. Again, by expanding, we have 10 I1 minus 10 plus 10 I1 plus 10 I2 is equal to 0. So it becomes 20 I1 plus 10 I2 is equal to 10. From this we have 2 I1 plus I2 is equal to 1. Let it be equation number 2. So there are two equations and there are two unknowns. So in the lower classes itself, you have the procedure to solve the two equations for getting of the two unknown values. By solving these two equations, we get I1 value and I2 value. After solving the equations, we have I1 is equal to 1 by 3 ampere and I2 is equal to 1 by 3 ampere. But here I1, I2 are not required. So through this 10 ohm, how much current is passing? That is I1. Through this 10 ohm, how much current is passing? That is I2, that is also equal to 1 by 3 amperes. Whereas through this 10 ohm resistor, a current of I1 plus I2 is passing, so that I1 plus I2 is equal to 2 by 3. That's why while giving the problems, the current passing through this resistor may be given, passing through this resistor may be given, or passing through this resistor may be given. That's why if you want to find out the current passing through a particular branch, first of all, measure the currents passing through the different branches, and after that, the current passing through the branch can be by knowing the currents. So here, through this 1 by 3, through this 1 by 3, through this 2 by 3 amperes current is passing through the circuit. Right? Here, how to solve the two equations, that is mathematics, it is not explained here itself. You know that process very well. That's why I skipped that, and directly I have given the values of I1 and I2. Come to the next problem. In the given circuit, find the current in 1 ohm resistor. So only through this 1 ohm resistor, we want to find out the current value. And for that purpose, here also let us assume different points at the different branches of, at the different parts of the circuit. And in the different branches, let us assume different currents. Let it be I1, let it be I2, and let it be I3, which is equal to I1 minus I2. Okay? In various branches, I assumed various currents. But while assuming the currents, you have to keep one thing in mind. If suppose a current I1 is coming out of the positive terminal of the cell, the same current must be coming to the negative terminal of the cell. Okay? If this is I2, up to this is I2. Here, if this is I1 minus I2, this is also I1 minus I2. Whereas at this point, this current and this current are combining, and again we get the same current in this branch. That's why what amount the current starts from the battery, the same current must be reaching the negative terminal of the battery. Okay? Now different currents are assuming in the different possible directions. Now here also there are two unknown currents, and we have to solve for two unknown currents. For that we need two equations. For that, here also I am going to write down the two loop equations. One is by applying KVL for loop ABEFA. What we get? ABEFA. This is the direction of the loop. What we get? From A to B, there is only cell. We are moving from the terminal to the positive terminal to the negative terminal, so that the EMF is negative minus 6. When we are moving from B to C, the direction of the loop and the direction of the current in the same direction, so that IR is negative, the resistance is 1 ohm and the current is I2, so that IR is negative minus I2. When we are moving from E to F, the direction of the loop and the direction of the current are in the opposite direction, so that IR is positive. From that we can write 3 of I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. So we can write it as minus 6 minus I2 plus 3I1 minus 3I2 is equal to 0. From this we can write 3I1 minus 4I2 is equal to 6. Let it be equation number 1. Similarly, write down the another equation for the loop BCEB. This is the loop 2. For this loop, if suppose we apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law, what can we write? When we are moving from B to C, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction. So IR is positive plus 2I1. And when we are moving from C to D, there is only cell. That too we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. So that EMF is negative minus 9. Next, when we are moving from D to E, the direction of the loop and the direction of the current in the opposite direction. So that IR is positive plus 3I1. And when we move from E to B, here also the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction. So that here also IR is positive plus I2. This is equal to 0. From this 2I1 plus 3I1 is equal to 5I1 plus I2 is equal to 9. This is equation number 2. So in terms of I1 and I2, we have two equations. One is 3I1 minus 4I2 is equal to 6. 5I1 plus I2 is equal to 9. So by solving these two equations, we can find out I1 value and I2 value. But in this problem, we want to find out only the current passing through the 1 ohm resistor. That's why calculation of I2 is enough. By solving these two equations, if we find out I2 value, that I2 value is found to be I2 is equal to minus 3 by 23 amperes. Minus 3 by 23 amperes. See that here we have the current value with a negative sign. What it means? It indicates that while solving the problem, initially I assume the direction of the current from B to E. The negative sign indicates that the direction assumed by me is wrong, and actually the current from E to B in the circuit. Okay? So BE is wrong, and the current flows from E to B. That's why in the beginning of the problem, we may choose the currents in any possible directions. The directions assumed by us may be right or may be wrong. So initially, don't be mind about the directions. So assume the currents and solve the problem. At the end, we can decide whether the assumed directions of the currents are right or wrong. So here we are getting the negative sign. From that we conclude that the direction of the current assumed by me is wrong, and actually it is flowing from E to B. If suppose I1 is also required, so by substituting I2 value in these equations, we can find out I1 value, right? Now come to the another network where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells, 1, 2, 3 resistors. So in the below circuit, the current in each resistance is dash. We want to find out the current in the each resistance. For that, let us assume that the current passing through this extreme right side 1 ohm resistor is 1 ohm, I1. So this is I1. Now here the current divides into two parts. Let it be I2, and this is I1 minus I2. Here, at this point, the current I2 again divides into two portions. Let it be I3 and this is I2 minus I3. Okay. Now these currents are passing through the different branches of the circuit. Let the points are marked as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Again, by using these four rules, by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage laws for 3 loops, we can find out I1, I2, I3 values. From that we can find out the currents passing through the each resistor. For that, first let us take the loop A, B, G, H, A. This is the loop 1. A, B, G, H, A. For this loop, what can we write? When we move from A to B, there is a cell. We are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. So in this case, -2. Next, when we are moving from B to G, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the same direction. So IR is negative, minus I2 minus I3. And when we are moving from G to H, the direction of the loop is from negative terminal to the positive terminal of the cell, so that this is +2 is equal to 0. This +2 minus 2 cancels and we have I2 minus I3 is equal to 0, and from this we have I2 is equal to I3. Let it be equation number 1. Similarly, apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law for another loop 2. For loop, what is that loop? BCFGB. For BCFGB loop, what can we write? When we move from B to C, we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal of the cell, so that EMF is negative -2. And when we are moving from C to F, the direction of the loop and the direction of the current are the same direction, so that IR is negative minus I1 plus I2, minus of I1 minus I2. Next, when we are moving from F to G, we are moving from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the cell, so that EMF is positive +2. And here, when we are moving from G to B, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction, so IR is positive plus I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. From this, what can we write? -2 plus 2 cancels, minus I1 plus I2 plus I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. Already we have I2 is equal to I3, so this I2, I3 cancels. No, don't cancel that. So here we have plus I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. From this we have I1 minus 2I2 plus I3 is equal to 0. Let it be equation number 2. Right? Similarly, write down the equation for the third loop. What is that loop? For loop CDEF. See, what can we write? When we are moving from C to D, we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal, so that the EMF is negative -2. Whereas here, when we are moving from the D to E, direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction. IR is positive plus I1. When we are moving from E to F, we are moving from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the cell, so plus 2. And when we are moving from F to C, the direction of the current and the direction of the loop are in the opposite direction, so IR is positive plus I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. From this we can write 2I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. Okay? So there are three equations. I2 is equal to I3, I1 minus I2 plus I3 is equal to 0, 2I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. So if we solve the three equations for the three unknowns, finally we get I1 is equal to 0, I2 is equal to 0, and I3 is also equal to 0. So like this, whenever there are different elements, we can apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law and we can determine the currents passing through the various elements of the circuit. Right? While solving the problem, if suppose we assume the currents as this is I1, this is I2, this is I3, the problem can be simplified in somewhat easiest way. That's why, depending upon the directions of the currents and the amounts of the currents assumed in the different branches, we may get the different equations while applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Whether the intermediate equations may be different, but the final answer must be same. Here, I1 is equal to 0, I2 is equal to 0, I3 is equal to 0. That's why the current passing through this 1 ohm, passing through this 1 ohm, and passing through this 1 ohm is also equal to 0. So this is the problem containing 3 loops. Now come to the another problem. In the below circuit, the current in 1 ohm resistance is dash. Here a complicated network is given. In that complicated network, we want to find out the current passing through this 1 ohm resistor. For that, let us mark the points as A, B, C, D. Let it be E. Now let us assume the different currents in the different possible directions. Let it be I1. Let it be I2. Then what is this? I1 is coming towards the junction, I2 is flowing away from the junction, so that it becomes I1 minus I2. Let us assume that a current I3 is passing through this branch of the network, and at this point B, I2 is flowing towards the junction, I3 is flowing towards the junction, so both are combining and we have this current as I2 plus I3. In this I1 minus I2, I3 is flowing along this direction, so that the remaining current in this branch is I1 minus I2 minus I3. So in this complicated network also, in the different branches, I assumed 3 unknown currents I1, I2 and I3. You know that to calculate the 3 unknown values, 3 equations are required. So apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law for this loop and write down. Apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law for this loop and you will get the second equation. Apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law for this loop and you will get one more equation. So for 3 loops, we can write down 3 equations. So by solving the 3 equations which are in the form of I1, I2, I3, we will get the 3 unknown values I1, I2 and I3. So after solving the problem, you will get the current I1 as I1 is equal to 2.5 amperes. So do it and practice it while solving the problems. So keep something in mind. First of all, at the various positions, mark the points as A, B, C, D, E, so on, if points are not mentioned in the problem. Second step, assume the different currents in the different branches of the network. while assuming the currents, the direction of the current is your choice. But at the time of the assuming the currents through the batteries, if a current is coming out of the positive terminal of the battery, the same amount of the current must be entering into the negative terminal of the battery. That must be kept in mind. After that, by following these four rules, we have to write down the loop equations, and after solving the loop equations, we will get the unknown currents. Okay, right? Now I am going to explain the other model of the Kirchhoff laws. See here, just a path is there from A to B. There is no loop in the given problem. We want to find out the potential difference between the points A and B is dash. A and B, we want to determine the potential difference. For that also I am going to apply the Kirchhoff laws. Here, if suppose there is a closed loop in the given network, then in that closed loop, the algebraic sum of the potential drops and the algebraic sum of the EMFs is taken as 0. But if suppose there is a path like this where there is no closed loop, what we have to do? In that case, let us start at a point where the potential is say VA and move from point A to the point B by taking the algebraic sum of the voltage drops and EMFs. The potential at point A plus algebraic sum of all voltage drops and algebraic sum of all EMFs equal to the potential at the second point B in that path. So this is the principle to be remembered while applying the Kirchhoff's law to determine the potential difference between the 2 points along a path without having a closed loop. Okay, now see this problem. There are 2 points, 2 resistors and 2 cells. The current passing through the network is given, the resistance values are given and the EMF values are also given. Now we are moving along the path. If we are moving along the path A to B, what can we write from this equation? The potential at point A is VA. Next, in this resistor, this is the direction of the path, this is the direction of the current, both are in the same direction, then IR is negative, 3 into 6. Next, when we are moving from A to B, we are moving from the positive terminal to the negative terminal of the cell, where the EMF is taken as negative, -8. Next, in this resistor, the same current is passing, 3 amperes. Here the direction of the current and the direction of the path are in the same direction, so that IR is taken as a negative, so -3 into 3. Whereas here we are moving from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the cell, so that the EMF is positive, +7. This must be equal to the potential at point B, let it be VB. By doing so, we can determine the potential difference between the 2 points. So VA -18 -8 -9 +7 is equal to VB. From this, VA minus VB is equal to -18 -8 -26 -26 -9 -35 -35 +7 -28. By taking that -28 to that side, we have 28 volts. This is the way how to determine the potential difference between the 2 points along a path. Okay, the potential at point A plus the algebraic sum of the potential drops and EMFs is always equal to the potential at the end point of the path. So this is the basic concept to be remembered whenever we want to find out the potential difference between the 2 paths, 2 points. Here also we apply the same 4 rules. See, whatever the problem we are solving, we are using the same 4 rules for calculating the IR drops and EMF sign. And I'm going to explain the last one. Okay, the potential difference between the points A and B is dash. This is point A, this is point B. Let it be marked as C, let it be marked as D. Let the total current is I is equal to 2 amperes. We want to find out the potential difference between the points A and B. For that, we should know the currents passing through the resistors. In the first step, I am going to calculate the current passing through the different resistors of the circuit. If suppose this is I1, this is I2. See here, the same current is passing through this 7 ohms and 3 ohms, so that these two are in the series combination, so that 7 plus 3 is equal to 10 ohms. And same current I2 is passing through this 3 ohms and 7 ohms, so that these two are also in series, so that the effective resistance is equal to 3 plus 7, that is also 10 ohms. So this is the point C, this is the point D, this is the total current I, which is equal to 2 amperes. This is I1, this is I2. Already in the Kirchhoff laws, I explained the calculation of the currents I1, I2 in two resistors connected in the parallel combination. So just recall that formulas. The current in one resistor is given by I1 is equal to the total current I into, suppose this is R1, this is R2. The total current I into the resistance of the opposite branch R2 divided by sum of the two resistors R1 plus R2. Substituting I value, R1 value, R2 value, it becomes 2 into 10 divided by 20, that is equal to 1 ampere. Similarly, the current I2 is equal to the total current I into the resistance in the opposite branch R1 divided by the sum of the two resistors. So this is also obtained as 1 ampere. Now we know the current I1 value and also we know the current I2 value passing through the various elements of the network. Our aim is to find out the potential difference between the points A and B. So let us take the path. Follow the path A, D, B. So it is not a closed loop. Just follow the path A, D, B. At point A, let Vi, at point B, let Vb is the potential. Now, write down the condition for the path. The potential at first point or the initial point Va. Next, when we are moving along this path, this is the path from A to B. The direction of the path and the direction of the current are in the same direction, so that IR is negative, minus I1 into 3, minus 3 I1. Next, when we are moving from D to B, the direction of the path and the current are in the opposite direction, so that IR is positive, plus 7 I2 is equal to the potential at the final point, that is Vb. So Va minus 3 I1 plus 7 I2 is equal to Vb. Already we have I1 value and I2 value. Substitute the I1 I2 values, it becomes Va minus 3 plus 7 is equal to, from this we can write Va minus Vb is equal to minus 4 volts. So like this, for a path, by applying the proper rules, by using the Kirchhoff laws, we can determine the potential difference between the 2 points of a path. Okay? So I explained the Kirchhoff's current law in brief, Kirchhoff's voltage law in brief, and the rules to be followed while applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. After that, simple circuits are taken, some complicated circuits are taken. For that networks, by applying the Kirchhoff laws, we determine the calculation of the, we practice the calculation of the unknown current values at the various branches of the circuit, and also I explain the calculation of the potential difference between the 2 points along a path. I think you follow the class. Now you have ability to solve the problems by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So by referring the books, so try to practice many more problems, then you will be familiar about the rules and you will be easily solving the problems. Okay, thank you one and all.